GearNetwork.com.
The following is a presentation of the Gear Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, this podcast is sponsored by our store through Amazon. If you visit shopgear.com, please remember to do that, because when you do, you provide gasoline to the engine known as Gear Radio Network, and that helps this podcast continue. It is the best way to shop for yourself and is the best way to support this podcast. Now, on with the show.
GearNetwork.com.
This is a Gear Network production.
Coming to you live from Rochester, New York, this is the FTW Podcast with John Cimino and Brandon Gorell. And now, here's John.
Holy shit! We're back. Hi. How's it going, everybody? Brandon, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here, man.
All right, did my holy shit just throw you off there? Great way to start the podcast.
I guess so.
Right in the dump. Anyways, how's it going, everybody? My name is John Cimino. Welcome to the FTW Podcast. I'm at the JC Money on Twitter. And joining me, of course, is my co-host, Mr. Brandon Gorell. Brandon, say hello.
What up?
We are in the holiday season officially, ladies and gentlemen, and ShopGear.com is your effing friend, ladies and gentlemen. Salty I am today, but it is okay because I'm usually salty after election days anyways. You know, if you heard, podcast, 2 years ago we did a we were supposed to do a podcast the day after election day, and we were deflated, obviously. I just was like, I'm just doing scores, and that's it. Yeah. That sucked. This one was what it was, but we could talk about that at a later time and date. But Brandon, what the hell, man? It's been a couple of weeks. How the hell are you?
Just living the dream, man. Living the dream.
Okay. Just living the dream. All right, very good. Well, let's go right into some big football news then. Speaking of living the dream, ladies and gentlemen, the New Orleans Saints have a new wide receiver, and he's going to be throwing up the X. It is Dez Bryant, the former Cowboy. It has signed a 1-year deal, and according to Drew Brees, he will complement the cast of skills players there on the Saints. Brandon, good move, bad move, smart move.
Was
it really necessary considering their record?
Yes,
they are.
They're thin at wide receiver right now. They got a lot of injuries. They really, it's like Michael Thomas and then a bunch of fill-ins right now. And sooner or later, people are going to key in on Thomas. The Rams made a mistake trying to go one-on-one with Thomas. But their best one-on-one defender, Talib, was not in the game. So they got kind of toasted by Thomas. Thomas is a tough cover anyways, but they're pretty depleted at wide receiver. So it's finally somebody with a winning records or a chance. Desperation met his needs,
right,
so to speak.
Right. So I think
if it works out, it works out. But if it doesn't, then they're pretty much where they were. I mean, they only invested the rest of this year for him. So, it's if you take out Dez Bryant, they were Ted Ginn Jr., who's injured and on IR now. Tommy Lee Lewis, Cameron Meredith, who I also believe is injured, Traquan Smith, and Michael Thomas. I mean, that was really all they have.
And the Saints were are still 7-1 besides that.
Yeah, because they've been relying on Kamara and Thomas. And if one of those guys go down, they're in big fucking trouble. So they know they need another playmaker besides one of those two. They've relied heavily on those two, especially when they're going to start playing. Their defense is getting chewed up right now, and if you run into teams that have some kind of roadblock, or if you have a receiver go down in that game, especially if you're heading towards the playoffs, You're in a playoff, you're in a one-game situation, and your top playmaker gets hurt. And it has happened. Ask the Green Bay Packers.
Mm-hmm.
And your second best playmaker gets hurt. And now you're down to nothing. You have a good chance of losing that game, especially since you don't have a shutdown defense. So Dez Bryant is an insurance plan. Whether he works out or not, I don't know.
I would imagine he's got to be very, very, very happy going to a team like the Saints.
He has a good quarterback again.
Well, yes, he does.
Romo was good, and he was good with Romo.
He was good with Romo, but Romo was often injured, as evident by the last 1,000-yard season that he had. Dez Bryant, that is, was 2014, and he's gone 23 games without a 100-yard game, and a good portion of those games were with Dak Prescott as his quarterback after Romo retired and ended up going to the booth. So he's moving from Dak Prescott to Drew Brees, who incidentally, veering off of topic here, but Brandon, Drew Brees recently passed Brett Favre for all-time passing yards. And yet, why is it that it seems like it's only now that people are starting to throw Drew Brees into the greatest quarterback, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time conversations? And why hasn't it happened earlier? Because the guy has, done, 5,000-yard seasons, multiple seasons, and setting passing records, and keep, putting his team on his back, and, Super Bowl winner in New Orleans, which, for a long time they were the Aints, and, giving them an identity and doing all these things and passing Brett Favre, and still, could have maybe one or two more good years left, right, especially with today's rules, if he chooses to continue to play. Why is it that now people are starting to realize, hey, wait, Drew Brees is really, really good. He's a really good quarterback. Like, I'd probably put him top 5.
Probably. That's kind of a silly statement.
Why?
He's definitely top 5. Yeah. He's top 3. Yeah. I mean, it's always, I don't know where this whole, we're just kind of realizing Drew Brees is coming from. I don't know if you're just realizing it, but as far as I've always seen it, the pecking order has always been Brady, Rodgers, Brees.
No. I agree. I've always thought Brees is one of the best quarterbacks that ever played, but it was never really discussed.
By who though? I mean, I hear it all the time.
Now you hear it all the time. I've been hearing it for years. Before he broke the passing record, I did not see deep in-depth stories on Drew Brees and his family, having his family on the stage, and all that type of stuff. I feel like I didn't see it as much as I've seen it now in the past couple of weeks. And I don't know, maybe
you must have been absent that season he went to the Super Bowl. So
no, I was there for that.
It was like every week ad nauseum about what he was doing in the community, his family, and what a great player he is, what a great teammate he is, what a great ambassador for the sport, what a great person for New Orleans to have at a time like this. It was like him and John Payton.
But that was 2000. But that was 2009.
Right, and
there really hasn't been a whole, especially in the few seasons that they had, the terrible defense and they weren't doing very well. You weren't getting those feel good stories about Drew Brees then.
Well, nobody covers losers. I mean, that could be said about anybody. I mean, when Brett Favre was having bad seasons with Green Bay, no one was talking about Brett Favre, and then all of a sudden he resurrected. No, they weren't.
They were talking about him because it was always whether or not he was going to retire at the end of the season.
Yeah, but that's not a feel good story. That's not like talking about his greatness. Favre was great during those seasons. The rest of the team sucked. That's what I'm saying. You can be a great player, but if your team is not producing, you're not going to get the spotlight. The teams that get the spotlight are the teams that are always in playoff contention. Tom Brady is always going to get that spotlight because Tom Brady is always at the top of those spots when it comes to the standings and how well he plays. They go hand in hand. Aaron Rodgers is the same way. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers having off seasons, even though he's thrown 1 interception this entire year and 15 touchdowns, and everyone's like, Rodgers is having the worst season of his career. And it's like, well, no, the Packers are having one of the worst seasons that they've ever had in his career. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers is not having the worst season of his career. It's just, I think you're missing, they've been talking about his greatness. I think you're missing the fluff pieces because they haven't been winners. they're winners right now. They're the talk of the town because they were, before the season even started, they were a lot of people's Super Bowl pick for the Saints to go. I mean, last year they were getting a lot of run too, and until they got the missed tackle in the divisional round against the Vikings. So they came in as favorites this year. First game didn't go so well for them, but ever since then they've been on fire, and you've been hearing about it week in, week out. And now they beat the Rams, who were the last undefeated team. Now they've been pretty much rocketed right to the top of the league. It's basically there's 4 teams right now that are in contention, that are legit Super Bowl contenders, and then there's everyone else. It's the New Orleans Saints and the LA Rams from the NFC, Patriots, Chiefs from the AFC. People are going to try to sneak the Steelers in there. That's fine. The Steelers are there every year.
Really? No love for the Chargers?
No, I know it's going to give.
I know LA doesn't want the Chargers, but the
Chargers are a good team, but they're trailing the Chiefs right now with a loss to the Chiefs already. So nobody's really saying, okay, let's put them in the top 4. They're there. People are going to try to sneak them in too, but until they prove that they can beat a winning team, they're not going to go anywhere in as far as the the NFL pecking order and people talking about legit Super Bowl chances. The Chargers have lost 2 games. They've lost to the Rams and the Chiefs.
Okay,
those are their 2 losses.
Those are their 2 losses. They beat
their
up on
wins
everybody.
Are against the Bills, the 49ers, the Raiders, the Browns, the Titans, the Seahawks. The Seahawks being their most impressive win, but the Seahawks are also 4-4.
Case. All right.
That's why nobody's putting LA in the discussion. Philip Rivers having a great season again. That's another guy that doesn't get talked about with his greatness because his team always sucks. Philip Rivers right now is on pace again to go over 4,000 yards for the 6th straight season. Yes. And no one talks about it. It always is. It's Brady, Breeze, Rodgers. Breeze, Rodgers.
He's also on pace to pass Eli Manning as in consecutive starts for quarterback, being number 2 behind Brett Favre. So,
and he's nails. And the thing about him is that it's almost impossible to take him out of a fucking game. I mean, if you remember way back when they had LT as their running back, and they had
the game at the
a game against New England. He had a torn ACL, and he was out there playing on a torn ACL and almost took the game from the Patriots. Would have had he had a healthy LT. LT on the other hand sprained his knee and was sitting underneath a big parka for the rest of the game, pouting on the sideline.
Yeah, I remember that.
Rivers is a badass, but no one talks about him because San Diego / LA has been irrelevant for a long time. They don't go to the playoffs, and that's why no one talks about him. And that's why when Breeze is winning, they're talking about his greatness, and you see a lot more exposure to it. When he's not winning, when the team's not winning, well, you're talking about the guys that are performing. They're going to get the week in, week out talks. That's just the kind of the way the media works with it. I mean, but to say that Breeze has gone under the radar and no one really talked about him is not really that true. I mean, it's more prevalent now, but he's been around, and everyone always, whenever you're talking about quarterback play in articles, it's always the top 3. It's Rodgers, Brady's, Breeze.
All right.
And the Rodgers Brady one, it flip flops. When Rodgers is on his game and the Packers are winning, everyone's thinking, oh, Rodgers is the guy. And when Brady's winning and Brady's winning Super Bowls, it's, well, Brady's the guy, So right now it's Brady. And now you got other guys sneaking into the conversation. You got Jared Goff sneaking in the conversation. You've got Patrick Mahomes sneaking into it. Those guys are playing at a high level right now, but they're really young. So now the talk is do these guys belong there? And I absolutely believe they belong there. You can't say the best quarterbacks in the game, but then also go afterwards and say, well, but also they have to have a resume beyond the season. Well, no, because if you're playing in the game right now and you're the best at what you're doing, then you're in a top 5 in the quarterbacks. I keep hearing this Mahomes doesn't belong there. I'm like, dude, he's dwarfing everybody in touchdowns this year right now. He is on record pace as a quarterback. How are you going to tell me that he's not deserving of being in the top 5 when he's doing all that because, he's only played this year? Well, that's great, but he's still doing it this year. And he is in the league. He hits the requirements. I don't really understand why we disqualify that guy. That guy he's insane. I mean, that the numbers alone, like, how do you even deny that? I mean, the guy's bananas. Let me just bring up his stats real quick because they're kind of absurd. I mean, you're talking about a guy who is a quote unquote rookie because he really hasn't played that much, but the dude has, through 8 games, mind you, he's 210 for 317 that's a 66% completion percentage. He's already got 2,900 yards for the season. He's 9.2 per pass. He's 315 per game. I mean, he's averaging well over 300 per game. He's almost averaging a first down every time he throws the ball. He's got 29 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. And that's not even counting the running that he's done as well, because with rushing, he's run for 137 yards and he's got 2 touchdowns there too. So the guy is just dominating right now, and he belongs in that top 5 too. I think the top 5 right now are Brady, Breeze, Rodgers, Mahomes, and probably Rivers. I would say Rivers is the 5th.
Okay, that's fair.
Everyone wants to stick in, Roethlisberger because of his resume, or they want to stick in Russell Wilson because of his, past abilities to, pull games pretty much miraculously out of his ass, but he hasn't been able to do that this season. So you got to bump him out. You can't live on the past. You got to live in the now. It's a now league. It's a results league. I mean, Mike McCarthy was once a good coach 9 years ago, but he hasn't been since then.
Right.
It's a what have you done for me lately? And right now those guys are doing it lately.
And that is an awesome segue, actually, to the next topic that I have, which is, Brandon, the list 1 through 15 of the NFL coaching hot seats. I'm not going to go through the bottom.
Coach Mac's got to be on the top.
There's a tier 3. They call them. They have it broken down in 3 tiers. The cool but combustible, with names like Dan Quinn, Adam Gase, Sean McDermott, Bill O'Brien, Doug Marrone. Then they have the Bengals. Marvin Lewis is number 8, by the way. that dude. I swear to God, he's like two cats. He's got nudies of the owner or something. Heating up. This is the tier 2. Now, these are the ones that I wanted to talk to you about. First, we're going to start with Lewis's Dallas Cowboys and Jason Garrett. Troy Aikman said flat out, and he doesn't really ever do this, or at least that I've seen. So if you tell me you've heard him say this type of stuff before, I'll believe you, because I personally haven't. But Troy Aikman has flat out thrown the Cowboys under the bus and was just like, there needs to just be some changes here, like all around, because this is ridiculous. You got Michael Irvin coked out of his mind talking about how great the Cowboys are, and then they go and they get the crap.
Dude, he was sweating and barking. Like, I couldn't even see the words.
He looked like a Baptist pastor giving a hell of a freaking prayer.
He was giving a sermon on a 90-degree afternoon on a Sunday with the doors open at the church. And, like, I could not fucking believe it. Like, I'm on the elliptical at the gym, like, kind of just burning off all the lactic acid after doing leg day, and I'm looking up at the screen, and I'm like, what the fuck is his problem? Like, what did Mike, like, did Stephen A tell him he was doing coke again and he just freaked the hell out, or he tell him he's like, I saw you with a hooker or something? Like, he was losing his mind. He's like standing up, and then he sits down, and then like some ESPN asshat comes by with his camera and makeup, and he goes and like dabs him off with a towel so he can start screaming some more. I was like, dude, what is happening?
Oh, good old Irv Dog.
All I saw was just motion. I saw no words, heard no words. I just saw like mouth, hands waving, sweat pouring, suit splitting. It was bananas.
Yeah, it was crazy. I don't know why they brought him on. I mean, they got rid of Dallas. Well, ESPN got rid of him. He used to be an analyst for ESPN. It's true. All
and he
right.
was there for the game because, it's a game and they cover that stuff, and it's Dallas and he's in Dallas. So
right,
he was
fair
in the
enough.
crowd with the people in the foyer.
True.
And that's why
Okay.
Stephen A was like saying some shit to him or whatever, and they must have invited him down and brought him in as a guest, and he just lost his shit.
He went crazy. But anyways, they've got Jason Garrett on that list.
He should be on the top of the list.
You think he should be on the top and not in the heating up tier?
No, he should be like his seat is red as his fucking hair. Like that guy is bananas bad. Like the Cowboys every year have been like, well, this is the year they got these guys together. They got this, they got that, and they don't have shit. Like,
right. Well, I mean,
that whole staff needs to go. Their offensive coordinator's garbage. Rod Marinelli's garbage. I mean, the whole staff is just goddamn trash. And what does dipshit Jones do? He's ready to sign extensions for both Dak Prescott and fucking Jason Garrett. I'm like, what? Yeah. Did he just get two Hummers in the elevator by hookers again? Before he came down, and was like, it was a tough game, but man, that ride down the elevator. Whew.
Well, anyways, there's only two in this particular tier. There's Jason Garrett, and then Brandon, there's Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy should be on a hotter seat too.
The Packers are 30, 25, and 1 since 2015. Yep. They've scored 1,312 points, allowed 1,299. Just a fantastically average team over the last 4 years, per Zach Cruz from Twitter. And he's not wrong there. And I think that is a waste, for Aaron Rodgers, whom turns 35 next month. So he's on the, end of it, approaching the end of his career. Like, he doesn't have many more seasons left.
Well, what's worse about it, the worst part about it is you can look at that record and go, okay, yeah, fantastically average. But you also need to look into that a little deeper and see that they've been in 3 NFC championship games.
Mm-hmm.
One of which they lost because a guy could not catch a onside kick, went right through his hands.
Right.
And then a miracle throw at the end of the game. And then Rodgers gets him to overtime, still drives him down with a torn calf, drives him down, gets the overtime tying field goal, and then never sees the ball again. So they lose, and Seattle goes to the Super Bowl. And then you look at the last time they were in the championship game, which was against the Atlanta Falcons, and they literally just grabbed guys off the street and said, hey, come be Aaron Rodgers' wide receivers because everyone else is hurt. Every single wide receiver, Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams, Geronimo Allison. There was one other guy that was in there too that was like basically off the street, and he got hurt too. So they were down to like their 5th, 6th, and 7th string wide receivers.
Good Lord.
Yeah, Aberdarius was hurt, and trying to think the other white guy that he had, the guy that caught the Hail Mary against Arizona that one year, the year before.
No, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, but he was also dinged up too, but he was playing hurt. They had no running back. Their offensive line was missing 3 of their starters, and they went to Atlanta to face the high-octane Atlanta Falcons. It was never going to happen. So they haven't been a great performing regular season team, but in that era, since the Super Bowl, they have gone to the championship game. They've gone to the playoffs consistently, and they've not, they've had seasons where they got bounced right away. And a lot of that can be attributed to the defensive coordinator we hung on to forever until this year. And the defense has shown signs of improvement this year, but the offense has regressed. Aaron Rodgers does not trust his wide receivers outside of Adams right now. He had trust in Randall Cobb, and then Randall Cobb let him down, and then Randall Cobb got hurt, missed 3 games. And then he comes back, and he's kind of, not really high up in the thing. So now he's got Valdez-Scantling and Enemequius St. Brown, both rookies. and they're playing well too, but he still hasn't got that rapport with those guys, and they're not utilizing Jimmy Graham the way that he was intended to be used. I mean,
right.
He's got his second touchdown of the season last game. I mean, we're 8 games in, he's got 2 touchdowns.
And I remember vividly, even before the season, one of the things that we were mentioning through the preseason episodes and things like that were we couldn't wait to see
development, because he was going to be a red zone threat.
Right, between Jimmy Graham and Aaron Rodgers, and we thought that was going to be a thing, and that has largely not been a thing, and that's been disappointing, to say the least.
It's a lot of McCarthy's fault. First of all, he brought back Joe Philbin to be his offensive coordinator, which he's still running the same offense that he did with no creativity back in 2009. Right. People have caught on to the game. Like, anytime they try to do a wide receiver screen now, there's like guys in the backfield either going to pick it off or they're going to hit them as soon as they get it, because they know it's coming. All right. He's not done anything with the running game. He abandons it even after they get some success. They'll have a drive where they balance out the thing and Aaron Jones is running well or Jamal Williams is running well. And then the next 3 drives, they won't hand the ball off once. Right. It is McCarthy's fault. The guy should be gone. I would love to see him get fired tomorrow.
That's fair.
I would.
That's fair.
He's had enough time. I'm tired of excuses. It was before, it was like, oh, the defense. Well, the defense has been holding their own. I mean, they held the Patriots in check like a lot of drives, and the offense could not capitalize. And as soon as they made their one mistake, when they fumbled, heading in, I mean, Jones was down to the 30 when he fumbled, and it was 17-17. Green Bay was going in for the lead. Right. And then all of a sudden New England scored, and then the wheels fell off because they're a fragile team right now. And that's part of coaching. Yes. Guys not doing what they're supposed to do is part of coaching. Ty Montgomery not coming out of the end zone. You need to know the pulse of the team. If you've got a guy who's sulking on the sideline, he's pissed off that you took him out of the game, I'm not having him return kicks.
Exactly.
He's going to stay there on the bench. But instead, he puts him out in the end zone and says, hey, if it comes in the end zone, you're taking a knee. Yeah, okay, sure, coach. I mean, yeah, granted he got cut, but that's too late. I mean, you had a chance to knock off the Rams.
Right.
But instead you have none because it's poorly coached.
Because he went rogue and
and that's poor coaching. You got to know the pulse of the team.
Speaking of poor coaching, Brandon, I'm going to skip a few here.
The rest.
We're going to tier 1 hot in here. So the one that I want to talk about is it's number 3. But before we get there, let's go. Number 5 was the Cardinals' Steve Wilkes, which would be a one and done situation. It's kind of weird, even with, they just drafted Josh Rosen and, all that stuff. Like, at least give him another year. The Ravens, John Harbaugh.
Yeah,
the Ravens have done a whole lot of nothing since
he's got one to win.
Really, since the Super Bowl, honestly. And with the GM, what was the GM's name? I can't remember. But the GM,
Ozzie Newsome.
Ozzie Newsome, that's it. He's going to be gone this year. They're going to bring a new GM in. I mean, to me, honestly, I think that Harbaugh is going to be gone because I think the new GM is going to want to bring in his new regime. And quite frankly, I think he's going to want to start Lamar Jackson. Why wouldn't you? Guy's a playmaker.
I mean, and then get rid of Joe Flacco. You can trade the guy even.
Some team will pick him up. Denver would probably take him.
Oh, yeah. No heartbeat.
Here's number 3, Brandon. And this guy, I have been on his bandwagon literally since we started this podcast. Entirely. Since we've started this podcast entirely. Todd Bowles. They have him listed at number 3. Bowles has a 23-34 record as the Jets coach, and this year they're 3-6. The development of Sam Darnold, the future of the franchise, has stalled after an impressive debut. I'm reading off of CBS Sports right now. He leads the league in interceptions with 14. He's a rookie quarterback. The Jets should probably hire according to CBS Sports, the Jets should probably hire an offensive-minded coach with Darnold's development in mind, since it will determine the franchise's fate. I'm not looking so much at this particular season as far as the team is concerned, because the team, for being a bottom of the league team this year, they're not a terrible team. They're fun to follow. They're at times fun to watch. They're Jekyll and Hyde, and unfortunately the Hyde is showing a little more than the Jekyll. Thankfully the Jekyll showed when I was there at MetLife. It's not going to happen this week, I'll tell you that much. But that said, I happen to notice over the course of the past few weeks, Todd Bowles is still making a lot of coaching decisions that you would expect out of a year one head coach and not necessarily a year four head coach. And I think we're getting to Rex Ryan territory now as far as, is the team going to be playing for him? There's already talk about him losing the team this year. And, is this it? Did Todd Bowles hit his ceiling in year one? When the Jets were 9-7 or 10-6 or something like that and missed the playoffs. Yeah. I am back and forth on this one because again, the Jets don't really have a good team around them. They
haven't had a good team.
And they haven't
in a while.
But in the same, Bowles is making a lot of coaching blunders that, clock management is not his thing. He's I just don't know. I just don't know how I feel about this. I'm starting to kind of go to the side of, okay, maybe this is something that needs to be looked at now. That said, look at no further than Cleveland drafting, what's his name? Baker Mayfield, first overall. Rookie quarterback, going to change the franchise. Midway through the season, guy's fired. Yeah. So now it's going to be a new offense. Baker Mayfield, by the time next season starts, is going to be on his third NFL head coach in a year and some change.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing with the Todd Bowles, and this is where I think that you and maybe a lot of other people miss. They keep saying they need to hire an offensive-minded head coach. Head coach is offense, defense, it doesn't matter. Because all you have to do is look at Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Bill Belichick is a defensive coach. He has always been a defensive coach. Defense is his number one strong suit.
Right, but he also had what's his face? A Charlie Weiss or a Josh McDaniel, who was a really, really good.
That's where
they were really good. OCs.
You need an offensive coordinator. You don't need a new head coach to make a better offense. The offense will get better on offensive coaches.
Okay. Now that's
head coaches manage the team.
Well,
and
that's
point
the case. The point with the offensive hiring the offensive head coach, that was just CBS Sports. I do agree with you with that, but we're talking this year's Jets team and the defense, which has kept them in games.
Right.
Routinely has kept them in game. They kept them in the game with the Dolphins until they couldn't keep them anymore. And then Todd Bowles says, which pissed off Bart Scott, and I agree wholeheartedly with Bart Scott. Todd Bowles said, well, I needed more out of the defense today. And that is, I think, where the losing the team speeches come, because a few people that I've read from the defense, of course, anonymous sources, so take it for what you will, but a few of the people on the defense were kind of like, what the fuck, really? We'd be getting blown out if it wasn't for us.
The
offense wasn't doing anything.
That's a fair criticism, but at the same time, when you look at the dumpster that's on the other side of the field, which is the offense, the only thing that they've got is the defense, so you expect more from the defense in that case. If your defense is really good, and they may have held him or whatever, but maybe he's thinking, I could have used them forcing a turnover, or, there may have been opportunities where guys had a chance in an interception, they dropped it, or, they had a chance to cause a turnover and they didn't. Maybe that's what he's referring to, because he knows damn well what he has on the offensive side of the ball, and it ain't good. It ain't going to win you any games. That is a bad offense. They started off
it's a very bad offense
because they had some guys that stepped up, but some of those guys got hurt.
Right.
So now
Isaiah
they're
Crowell.
even deeper into the dumpster.
Darnold himself is hurt now.
Right.
He's
Darnold's
walking
hurt.
around in a walking boot.
His
He's not
line's
playing.
not good.
Mm-mm.
The wide receivers are not good. I couldn't even tell you who your tight end is.
I don't even remember his name.
Right, and you're a Jets fan, so
well, right, but he's relatively new on the scene.
Right, and that's the problem. And I don't buy this whole he's losing the team, he's losing the. I hear that nonsense all the time. I hear that in a lot of sports. Oh, he's losing the team, he's lost this, and it's always anonymous sources. And then all of a sudden somebody does, ooh, Sidney Crosby has scored 1-0 Pens.
Oh, nice.
Playing the Capitals on NBC Sports Network.
All right, I'll throw it on. Hold on. Hey Siri, when are the Calgary Flames playing again? I think they play tonight.
When hell freezes over?
At 10:30 p.m.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll be staying up late tonight.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, with Todd Bowles, I think Todd Bowles is getting a bad rap because they have not done what they needed to do on the offensive side of the ball. They just now drafted a fucking quarterback this past draft. They needed a quarterback his whole time there.
Right.
They're like, let's give him Josh McCown and Ryan Fitzpatrick. Like he got the most out of Fitz. And then Fitz was gone.
Right,
and
right.
They're like, well, instead of drafting a quarterback, let's go get McCown. Mm-hmm. And then they use McCown, and McCown's not really what they want. So then they go and draft Darnold. McCown's salty because he thought he was going to start. Darnold takes the job. Darnold comes out, plays well. And then everyone expects, well, the Jets are going to be good again. And they're not going to be. They're going to be inconsistent because they're a team that's rebuilding. And that's what's frustrating is when people lose patience with teams that are rebuilding.
Right.
Because you lose patience with the head coach, but the head coach can only do so much with the roster he's given. And to your point with, well, he doesn't know how to manage a game, the clock management. Yeah, clock management is bad, but you know what? When you're trying to get the most out of the garbage that you have out on the field, it is a lot of work to do that. And so sometimes those little things like clock management kind of fall by the wayside because you're more focused on what is like trying to piece together this mess that you have. If you've got Tom Brady out there slinging it, Bill Belichick's going to look like a genius because he doesn't have to worry about the clock. Nobody talks about Bill Belichick's time management because Bill Belichick doesn't have to worry about the offensive side of the ball. So guess what he does? He focuses and helps him with the defense. Matt Patricia leaves. Defense starts out shaky. Guess who jumps in? Bill jumps in, lends a hand. Now the guy's got kind of a good rein on it. The defense is playing better, and the Patriots are back to being the Patriots. That's what a head coach is supposed to do. They're supposed to be there to manage the team and jump in where they specialize. No head coach in the NFL is a both offensive and defensive genius. They're one or the other. And
fair enough.
Look at Sean Payton. Sean Payton has had one really winning season, the Super Bowl season, and then this year. And he's an offensive genius, but his defensive stunk. And that's part of what the GM's job is to sit down with a coach and say, okay, what do we need on the defensive side of the ball? And then it's like, hey, we need this, we need that. They haven't been a good defense since they had to let go of, what's his name? God damn it. I wanted to say Brian Williams, but it's not Brian Williams. He's Jesus Christ. He was the guy from Bountygate.
Greg Williams.
Greg Williams.
He's the interim head coach of Cleveland.
Right. And that's the last time that New Orleans had a good defense because they had a real good defensive coordinator. He just happened to it happened to get out that he was giving bonuses to guys who were taking out other guys. But that's the last time they had it. But, and then people talk about the Saints being on the hot seat, putting Sean Payton on the high seat because, he's got Drew Brees in that offense. And, the blame game goes. It happens with losing franchises. Losing franchises continue to lose because they do 1, 2, if they're lucky, 3 years with a head coach and GM and drafting players. And then they go, this is not working, blow it all up again. And that's why some teams stay in constant state of rebuild because they don't give it a shot. Cleveland tried, but it was abysmal. Abysmal.
Well, I mean, that was just a dumpster fire from top to bottom.
Yeah, they're top to bottom bad. And the reason he got let go this year is it's like, listen, You were 0-16 one year. You were 1-15 the next year. We give you Baker Mayfield. The guy's got playmaking abilities, and yet you're still fucking it up. And you're 2-5-1 right now. Yeah, you've been competitive, but you have not put the team in the position to win games. That's why he's gone. He can sit here and say, well, it's because Baker Mayfield. No, it's not because of Baker Mayfield. It's because you don't have a head coach who's managing his squad. He had he has a top tier offensive coordinator and a top tier defensive coordinator. He had Todd Haley, who came from the Pittsburgh Steelers, who was also with the Kansas City Chiefs and also with the Arizona Cardinals during their good years. He is a quality offensive coordinator. Greg Williams was just mentioned in the New Orleans Saints thing. He was also very good. And what happened?
Very valid.
He got canned.
All right.
Now,
and
you know what? The Jets, who they have?
I'm gonna say this right now because it is my team. I'm starting to hear and I'm starting to listen to the words of people talking about, should Bowles be on the hot seat and this, that, and the other thing and whatever. I do not think, and I'm going to stay firm with this, I don't think they should fire him after this year, but I do think with the cap, with the money that they're going to have to be able to spend to build the team, to help put pieces in place around him, around Darnold, and perhaps get a weapon or two or beef up that offensive line so it can, help Robbie Anderson as well, who has some playmaking ability and just kind of needs that extra little oomph or whatever, build up that offensive line, give Darnold some time to throw. Not having to walk or, run out of the pocket. I really think that if they fire Bowles this season, it would be a dumb idea.
Right.
Unless they were able to, reincarnate Vince Lombardi and had a guarantee that he was coming back. You know what I'm saying? You
have to have somebody who is going to make sure that you don't regress.
Right. Exactly.
If you're going to bring in an offensive head coach and all he's going to do is focus in on the offense, then you're going to lose that defense.
I mean, I would if Sean McVay were like, screw you, LA, I want to be, I quit, I want to be, or the New York Jets, brought him in or whatever, and brought him and his smashable wife in. Like, I would be okay with that. I would be okay with them, getting rid of Todd Bowles. But I think that Todd Bowles, at the very least, deserves this offseason with the extra money from all of that dead cap, from all of those signings that they had from the Rex Ryan era, that are finally falling off.
It's funny that you got the Bills in the same goddamn boat for the same damn reason and the same damn person. Like, the Bills, all that dead cap money as well because of Rex Ryan and all the contracts that happened during the Rex Ryan time.
I didn't even put two and two together there with that, but you're absolutely right.
Those guys were with them. I mean,
they had freaking hilarious.
Doug Marrone, but Doug Marrone was there for 1 year and he bounced.
That is hilarious. That is actually very hilarious.
So McDermott came in and they made a surprise run at the playoffs, but they still had a lot of those fat contracts and they dumped them this year in the offseason and they traded guys and they cut guys. And now they have the highest dead cap money in the league, followed closely by the New York Jets, who have the second highest dead cap money.
Exactly.
So you're going to have two teams fighting to rebuild the same exact thing, the offensive line, offensive playmakers. They're both going to be looking for it on both those AFC East teams. It's kind of ironic that Rex Ryan destroyed both those franchises.
And then we get to hear Rex Ryan analyze it on freaking Sunday NFL down next year. That's like the big, you know what? Bills fans, I'm with you. December 9th, I believe that's the date. The Jets visit the Bills. I mean, tickets at MetLife, I believe, are as low as $5 for this game this Sunday. So I'm anticipating that the tickets for the Bills game is probably going to be as low as that. The Bills Jets games as well in December. So I'm thinking live podcast.
Dude, when I remember way back, I think I was probably almost 10 years ago when the Colts were getting close to being undefeated and they were going to Buffalo for week 15.
And you bought tickets.
I bought tickets super cheap. And ended up being a snowstorm, and on top of that, like the Colts ended up losing the week before. So like I just was like, well, screw it. I'm not going to be 16-0 now. And so I'm not going to go to that game and watch his backup play in a snowstorm. So literally, I got those tickets for $16, and they're going to be playing the undefeated, possibly going for 16-0 Colts at Ralph Wilson Stadium in December. That was a possibly marquee matchup, and people were selling good tickets for $16. Jets and Bills in December is probably going to go for $5 or less.
That's right. And
there might be people offering you hand jobs just to take those tickets.
I am telling you this. It is never been, you know what? I went to one Jets football game this year at MetLife Stadium. God damn it. I am going to stop at nothing to go to another one but this time at the Ralph or the Cap or Rich Stadium or whatever the hell it's called now.
Field.
Yeah, right. Whatever. And I'm going to go there. It'll be a few days after the start of my 38th season on this planet begins. And God damn it, I'm going to have the greatest time at a 3-2 Jets win there.
3-2. That's generous.
That's right.
Generous.
well, Mr. Paul and I were talking. He's a Bills fan. Mr. Paul and I were talking today, and he said that he's pulling for the 2-2 tie this week. I said, if that shit happens, Paulie, I quit life. But
yeah.
All right. Well, you know what we're gonna do is we're gonna
happening. They should just make an agreement, like fourth quarter, Bowles and McDermott say, you know what? Let's make this fun. We'll let each other get to the 50-yard line, and then our field goal kickers have to try to kick 67-yard field goals to win the game, to break the 2-2 tie.
Oh, why not?
And they just keep missing and keep missing. So like then you get the ball at the 50 at the 57 or the 43 of the other team. They got to go and lose 7 yards on a kneel to get the 50-yard line. Trying to make the field goal.
The sad thing is that I think Bills and Jets fans in unison would be okay with that. Yeah, because the team's such as you might as well. Got to have fun somehow.
Everyone would be safe. There would be no injuries. Everyone could go into the offseason healthy.
Yeah, there we go. Very good, very good. All right, well, you know what? Enough of that. By the way, the other two besides Bulls were Buccaneers Dirk Cotter and Broncos Vance Joseph. But
I think Vance Joseph is kind of unfair too.
Yeah, I think so. As well.
They don't have a quarterback. It's been it's been kind of a shit show as far as quarterbacks in there. I mean, Case Keenum's okay, but he's not the solution. They did a bad job drafting. Paxton Lynch, Brock Osweiler, who was that other guy that they had cut? What was his name? Casey Kelly or something like that. That got busted. The guy with the crooked eyes.
Chad Kelly.
Yeah, Casey Kelly is on the Boston Red Sox. The guy with the crooked eyes.
Correction, Brandon. I begrudgingly say the World Series champion Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
No, let me ask you this on that quick thing, real quick. Was my statement accurate? Do you think that David Ortiz could literally crash any World Series victory party for any team, including the Yankees? Do you think that David Ortiz could crash any World Series party like he did with the Red Sox one and be universally accepted? And it'd be like, oh, cool, come on in. Like, I totally think Ortiz could. I think if he wanted to, because he's such a colorful, like, I love Ortiz and A-Rod as analysts together. Yeah. Like, A-Rod is like the break it down, like, super stat guy. And he, when he speaks about baseball, you listen.
Yeah,
and then there's
he's
Poppy.
Not even just stats guy. Like, he really drills down into like mindsets and like the inside the game and
right.
He really.
Yeah, absolutely. But then you got Poppy, who
Yankee
lose. Hey man, hey Rod, you sit over there, man. Hey, remember when we play in like 09 or something and we beat you, man?
Yeah,
like that's like
I think he would, and on top of that, like even Yankee fans, like if the Yankees have won the World Series, they'd be okay because they just won the World Series, so they wouldn't be like so pent up, like, oh, why is Ortiz here? Like, I think they would be less inclined to be upset because, he is a fun character and you just won the World Series. So calm the fuck down.
I'd buy him a beer. He's rich. He doesn't need me to buy him a beer, but I'd buy him a beer. If I get married again, Brandon, which I won't, but if I ever get married again, I swear to God, I want to have a stag party and I want him there. I want to pay. I want to find out what his appearance fee is, and I want David Ortiz at my stag party. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, good luck. All right,
cool. Moving on. All right, well, let's go right into the promo here. Can you believe it, Brandon? We are actually heading into hour number 2, but the promo, because we just started rambling. I like it. But anyways, promo, shopgear.com, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to be home when you're not home and see who's knocking at your door or ringing your doorbell, may I suggest to you the Ring Wi-Fi enabled doorbell in satin nickel. It works with Alexa if you have it. It is $99.99 on Prime or 5 monthly payments of $20. Brandon mentioned that a few podcasts ago that Amazon offers that now.
Yeah.
And so that is definitely a good thing. And also, too, starting Monday, this past Monday, I should say, November the 5th, Amazon is waiving the purchase for minimum requirement for free shipping. I mean, Prime members will also get, holiday perks on more than, 3 million items eligible for same-day delivery. But this is a big thing right here because last year, Amazon shoppers that use shopgear.com and didn't have a Prime membership had to at least spend $25 or more to earn free shipping. And this year, Amazon said, to hell with it. Walmart's getting in the game, and they're offering free shipping, so to hell with it. Free shipping for the holidays. So, go to shopgear.com, ladies and gentlemen. Get your Ring Wi-Fi enabled doorbell in satin nickel. 5 monthly payments of $20. And hey, it works with Alexa to illuminate and send lights. It'll illuminate and send announcements to other Echo devices. It lets you see, hear, and speak to visitors from your phone, tablet, or PC. So if you're not home, you can still be at home. It sends alerts as soon as motion is detected or when a visitor presses a doorbell. It works on any home, with or without existing doorbell wires, though I would recommend having it professionally installed, which Amazon can do as well. It can set you up with an installation for $67 additionally per unit, and that will wire right into your door, and you won't have to worry about replacing batteries or somebody trying to steal it or anything like that. Monitors your home in HD and lets you check on your property at any time. Again, shop GERE.com or GearNetwork.com/Amazon. Click on the banner. Takes you right to the Amazon account. We do receive a commission for most of your purchases in Amazon, and that is used to do cool, awesome things like bring you commercial.
I'd like to add to your promo.
Go ahead and add to the promo.
The Ring doorbell. If you get the Ring home security system, it integrates with that doorbell as well. And the nice thing is,
you got that, didn't you?
Yeah, I don't have the doorbell yet. I'm waiting to get that. I'll be getting that next. So I got the Ring security system, and the monthly monitoring, their premium package is $100 a year, or you can do it in 10 monthly payments of $10 a month, and that would be like $120. But the nice thing is that you get to be part of the Ring Premium Club, and what that does is it gives you a 15% discount on all Ring products that you purchase. So nice. If you want to buy the doorbell afterwards, you can get 15% off of that.
Oh, that's cool.
Plus your free shipping, and if you want to do it in payments, you can do that too. Or that's if you need more sensors, like motion sensors, or you need, more sensors for windows and things like that. You can get them right through there, and you can get a discount. And it's, $10 a month for monitoring, is pretty dope.
Not bad at all.
It's a nice little system. You can actually take the keypad right off the wall and put it in a different room if you want to. You take it right out and you can charge it. It's still, you keep it plugged in near your Wi-Fi and your router. And if it fails, say like my Wi-Fi went down last night because we had some pretty bad wind. Mm-hmm. So it knocked out my internet for a while, but it goes on cellular backup. So you still have your security monitor, because if there is a break-in or whatever, your alarm will go off, and you will, if you don't, shut off the alarm, the police will be notified, and they'll come to the home. So even if your Wi-Fi goes out or your power goes out, you're still going to have cellular backup.
I have to be honest with you,
battery backup. Yeah.
I have to be honest with you. I am monitoring how your reviews on this very, very closely, because if it turns out to be a godsend for you after some time and you're like all in and it's cool, then I mean obviously my situation. I'm barely making enough to be broke right now, but that's going to end that's going to end soon enough. And when that does, at some point in time next year, I think I'm going to end up investing in that as well for my home. So, because $100 a year for the security,
you can install it yourself too.
It's incredible, and
don't need
the self installation and all that shit. That's pretty cool. But anyways, shopgear.com, it is your friend. All right, it has been a few weeks since we've done this, so don't mind us going into hour number 2 and having a longer podcast than we usually have, because we got some making up to do, ladies and germs. Let's go over to Gear Network Pick'em as I bring it up right now. Brandon, last week I did not do very well. I only had eight right, which is probably the lowest. Nope. Since week 3. Week 3 was my lowest at 6 points, but I have 8. So as we look ahead, all things considering, keep in mind, Brandon, you did admittedly miss a week. Right now, I'm going to have to say that we do not have a quitter like I thought. So it's a 3-man race at this point right now. Myself, you, and Big Steve-O. I am currently in the lead, 86 total points through 9 weeks. Steve-O is 73. And Brandon is sitting at 68.
Yeah.
Oh!
I got a big fat 1 in week 6 as I went in on the last day and picked the Packers on Monday night as I forgot the whole week.
All right. So as per norm, week 10, I'll go through the games, and you.
Wait.
Whoa.
Since we haven't been on in 2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, we were tied for champion every week. We both had 12.
Okay.
And then last week,
all right, go ahead.
I'm a champion every week.
All right. Thanks, Brandon.
9-8.
Okay.
You and Steve.
Wonderful. Not 9. What game did I miss? What game did I miss that you got? I missed the Falcons Redskins. I picked the Redskins. I picked the Jets. It's probably the Jets game, because I picked the Jets over
week 9.
Yeah, week 9.
Yep. I got the Falcons wrong. I got the Rams wrong, Packers wrong, and Cowboys wrong.
Okay.
So you must have been just the Jets.
Yeah, I had the Jets. So
yeah.
Oh well. All right. Well, we'll go on to this week. Let's start with the 5-2-1 Pittsburgh Steelers. Thursday night football against the 6-2 Carolina Panthers. Truth be told, not a bad football game to have on a Thursday night for once.
For once.
Brandon, who you got?
I got the Panthers.
You got the Panthers. Okay, I picked the Steelers because they're at home. They have Roethlisberger's playing good. Brown's playing good. John Connors is still there. The Le'Veon Brown situation, that's taken another weird turn, because he's in Pittsburgh, but he's not with the team, and there's a good chance he may not sign the tender at all. But John Connor's still going to be there. And did I say John Connor?
That's John Connor.
Okay, I thought it was right. I don't know. I said it, and I'm thinking of the fullback that used to be on the Jets a while ago, but yeah, it's not him. But anyways, he's there. I think. I mean, it really could go either way, but I'm gonna pick the Steelers because I'm an AFC guy. Falcons Browns.
Let's see. Falcons Browns. I got the Falcons.
Mm-hmm. Jets Bills.
I got the Jets.
I picked North Korea. No, I mean, I'm sorry, that was your joke. I picked the Jets, of course. Bears Lions.
Better than whoever is going to start for the Bills.
Nate
Pete's going to start again.
Nate Pete's getting another start. By the way, for the record, I want to say this. I want to say this flat out, and this is the JC money of me coming out and shooting here. You know what? I've been in entertainment for over 18 years. Okay. So I've seen my fair share of hecklers, and I've seen my fair share of people that take things a little too far and a little too seriously. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've had that happen, to me a few times out in Albany, and damn near caused a riot myself, Perez, at the Armory here locally, with a drunk Army veteran that, just couldn't let go of Nam or whatever. That's how old he was. the escape of reality is what these events are. Football is a game. It's a sporting event. It's entertainment. And outside of that, when the final gun blows and then they go and they do all their pressers and everything, they're normal people just like you and me, right? Nathan Peterman and his either girlfriend, wife, whatever she is, Nathan Peterman and his significant other were actually dining at a Buffalo restaurant, and a angry Bills fan threw food at him, which is uncalled for. I get it. The Bills Mafia, you've had 18 years with one playoff appearance, and now you're known for being the clowns that jump through tables and, finger bang your girlfriends, at the bleacher seats and whatever, throwing dillies on the field. Okay, that's all fun and games. That's cool, but totally not cool doing that to the person, Nathan. It's not Nathan.
Lowest common denominator. That person, I'll tell you, and I'll use one of your new favorite analogies. That person is a human form of a 1-star Yelp review.
Yes, absolutely.
It's embarrassing.
I mean, for real, it's not Nathan Peterman's fault that he's not being set up for success. It's not Nathan Peterman's fault that he's not quite ready, or maybe not even. He may not even be an NFL quarterback at all. Let's just put it out there. He may not be NFL caliber. Okay,
he is not.
But
he is not CFL caliber.
But he is not. But it's not his fault. The team drafted him. They put him out there, and they did not put him in a position to succeed. So he's not good, but he's also got a not good team around him that's making him even worse.
Well, not only that, like, you guys didn't draft him with a number 1 pick. Like, give us some rest. He was he was basically a throwaway pick.
Right. That
not
would
like
be
they were like banking their hopes of their future, on him and saying,
some were.
Well, he blew it.
Because they listen to Mel Kiper.
Because he was the backup.
And his fucking bee's nest hairdo.
That guy's an idiot. But...
And he's, Nathan Peterman, the steal of the draft. But seriously, Bills fan, and I know that doesn't speak for all Bills fans, because thankfully I have seen plenty of tweets, because I now live on Twitter. I've seen plenty of tweets from Bills fans chastising that fan and saying, "No, seriously, dude, fuck you." That's not cool. I don't care.
There's idiots everywhere.
Yeah,
there's idiots.
Or do that to Greg
everywhere.
Hardy or somebody like that. Somebody that deserves it. Not Nate Pete. He's a kid. He's just
Yeah. Be careful when you say someone should do it to Greg Hardy, because Greg Hardy will fucking kill you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He'll get away with it too.
Watch his MMA fights. He is bananas.
Yeah,
that is one frightening human being.
Yeah, he's a scary dude. But anyways, so yeah. Anyways, I got the Jets.
Basically, don't throw food.
Yes.
At people's.
At people.
Celebrity or not.
Yes, that's shit.
Throw it at your girlfriend.
Bears Lions.
I got the Bears.
Saints Bengals.
Saints.
Pats Titans. Colts Jaguars.
Colts.
Chiefs Cardinals.
And Chiefs. I mean, come on.
Buccaneers Redskins.
I got the Skins, but it's it could go either way.
I'm taking the Buccaneers. Right. I'm going to channel my inner 2016 New York Jets, 2015 New York Jets team, and say Fitz magic, baby. I'm betting Fitzmagic shocks the Redskins. That's what I'm doing.
That defense is really, really bad.
Yep, I know. Chargers Raiders.
I got the Chargers.
Also, I got to give you an opportunity to catch up, Brandon.
Oh, okay, that's what it is. Thanks.
Okay, Chargers Raiders, Brandon.
I got the Chargers.
Okay. How many fans do you think are going to be in attendance at Oakland? I mean, the Chargers have no fans apparently, but the Raiders are just absolute.
I don't know. The San Diego contingent might just make down there just to piss off Raider fan.
Maybe.
Make it up there, I should say. Make it up because of being NoCal.
San Diego, baby. AAF, Brandon.
Yeah.
We're getting excited. Get your merch. Kickoff party, baby. Can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna be awfully lonely that day.
Incidentally, I am not going to lie. I have had followers on Twitter tell me through DM that the constant AAF thing with you, they didn't understand it at first, but now they actually think it's very hilarious. And I think a lot of that has to do with your responses to it. So thank you for making the gag a thing. So
yeah, sure.
Dolphins, Packers.
Like I had a choice. I got the Packers.
Rams, Seahawks.
Rams.
Mm-hmm. Sean McVay's wife is hot. Eagles, Cowboys.
Eagles.
And Niners, Giants.
Niners.
All right, fuck it. Whatever. All right, so we only disagreed on two. We disagreed on the Redskins, Bucks, and Carolina, Panthers, Steelers. All right. Well, I guess it's better than not disagreeing like a few weeks ago.
If we each get one right, we're gonna be tied.
Indeed, we are going to be tied,
and we'll both be the champion every week.
Hooray! Just not Steve-O though. Steve-O won't be the champion every week because you have to listen, Steve, in order to get the champion every week title, and you don't, or maybe you do. And if you do, I'm sorry for yelling, you cunt. But anyways, that's it for the football talk of the FTW podcast. Let's go into the bullshit segment. And man, what the hell, Brandon? You went to a concert last week. Is that right?
I did.
All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
I went down to the Agora in Cleveland. Is not too far from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's a small little joint. It's kind of neat. It's got like 3 tiers to it. There's a bar level, and then there's kind of a lower level with like some high top bar seats, and then some floor area.
Okay.
And then there is the main floor down below. Plus there's some side like balconies. So like, if your parents come and you're 12 and you want to be down on the floor and you don't want to be around your parents, or your parents don't want to be down in that mess, they go sit up in those bleachers. Needless to say, I was not up in those bleachers. I was dead front row, and in the mess, with people who are probably half my age or more. But okay. I give zero fucks when I go to these shows because good music's good music, and I don't care how the fucking old I am. I'm going to keep going until I can't hear anymore. Okay. So I went to see the band Circa Survive. They're a band from Philly. They're kind of a punk alternative type band from Philly. They've been around for about 12, 13 years. So I bought the VIP package because a general admission ticket was $35. And you can go anywhere you want, no matter when you get there. But then they were offering also a nice VIP package with it, which a lot of bands are starting to do, and it's awesome because I've done a few of these now, and they're great. So what $40 more got me was a early entry at 4:30 when the show starts at 7.
Okay.
You get early entry to see the band, and then the band will actually come out. And we were sitting on the floor up in the bar area on the first tier, and they had an acoustic set up, and the band came out, and I was literally like sitting below the lead singer, Anthony Green's microphone. And they did a 3-song acoustic set for everybody. And then afterwards there was a meet and greet, and you got to go hang out and say hi to the band. My friend Chris, who went, he's a super fan, and he like dapped up and hugged every member of the band, which was kind of funny to me. And so, you get to sit there and you get to take a photo with the band. They do a Polaroid style one, and they also take your phone and use your phone to take a picture for you. And then you go pick up your phone and your Polaroid, and then they hand you a copy of the night's set list, all signed by the band as well. And then there was like a special edition pin. But then you get to go and hit the merch table before anybody even gets in the arena. So you get to grab stuff that, is limited edition, or, just not have to wait in line, and get your merch. And then you actually can go return to your car because you have a wristband. Mm-hmm. Go return to your car, drop it off, then go back through security again because they have metal detectors and everything. But you go through that, and then you go back to your seat, and you don't have to carry your merch around because I bought a vinyl of their latest album. And
was that the Facebook thing that I saw with you
just now?
Yeah.
No, this is this one I ordered through Discogs that I just showed tonight because it was a limited edition remastered reissue. And I was on my 4-day concert binge over the summer, where I went to 4 shows in 4 days. Okay. When they put out the link that they were going to be doing it, and it was gone in like a matter of like a couple hours. Because they only printed another like 1,000 copies on the vinyl. They pressed it, so I couldn't find it. Found on Discogs for like $45. And I was like, you know what? It's never been open. It's going to cost me $30 brand new when it was available. So $15 more. I don't really care. I'm going to do it. Okay. So I bought the Amulet, which is their newest album, and it was a special edition of that too. And that one's a deluxe edition. Inside there's a little mini 45 with 2 unreleased tracks on there too. There's a little blue translucent vinyl 45 inside as well, which was kind of neat. So I didn't have to carry that around the whole show because it's general admission and everyone's pushing and shoving and dancing and acting like, clown shoes, getting a week's worth of frustrations out, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. So it was a badass show. I had a good time. Got a photo, and I was wearing my Joan Jett shirt with Joan Jett. It was a classic backstage photo of her giving the double birds, and she's kind of peeking through her double birds. And the lead singer, Anthony Green, was like, dude, that is a kick-ass shirt. And he's like, I love that thing. And I was like, oh, go on a Redbubble, man. He's like, it is awesome. And they, said thanks for coming, and hope you enjoyed the early show, and we're going to really, bring it tonight. And they sure as shit did. They do every time. And it was finally the first time I got to see them. I've been trying to hit them for years, and I just not been able to do it. And this was the first opportunity. I thought it was like everything worked out. So I went to it, and it was fucking awesome. And I got another show tomorrow.
Nice. Very good. Well, I'll tell you what, how much time do you have?
I got time.
Okay, let's, what we're going to do, let's end. Remember when I was talking about, going into overtime and doing something like that?
Overtime.
Yes. Let's end this podcast now, because as you were kind of talking and I was listening, I was actually flipping through Twitter and saw something politically that pissed me off, and I'm a little pissed about it, so I don't think this is the appropriate form of talking, so we'll take it over to TJCMS, and we'll go FTW Podcast Overtime on the JC Money Show feed. We'll do that. That will drop later on today. So time frame here. We're recording now on a Wednesday. Thursday morning is when this podcast is going to drop. Thursday evening is when the JC Money Show will drop with the FTW Podcast Overtime in there on that feed. So go ahead and subscribe to that on your iTunes and or whatever podcast platform you have. We'll talk about Brandon's other concert. We'll talk about what the hell's pissing me off here with this tweet, among some other things. But that's going to do it for the FTW podcast now. Thank you very, very much for being so patient with us during the October of shit that was. And we will be back again next week, one way or the other, to talk more shenanigans and perhaps Brandon in one studio together instead of the conference that we're doing. Maybe.
Deal.
Yeah. Maybe. Cool. All right. Cool. I'm good with that. So for those of you listening here, tune in later tonight on the Gear Network. Subscribe on iTunes, subscribe on Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, Spotify, wherever podcasts are sold, to hear the FTW Podcast Overtime on the Jason Money Show feed. Brandon, good day to you, sir.
You as well, man.
So long, everybody. Good night now.
Remember to see more National Football League action next week.
The preceding presentation has been brought to you by the Gear Network.